Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This is my now 4th time trying to record this video. It was my 3rd, it was gonna be 3rd time's a charm, but I guess not. Jesus. Anyways, first time, what even happened the first time? I messed up on something, and then the second time, my storage was full. And then this 3rd time, I thought I cleared enough things, storage is full again. So, hopefully it doesn't stop on me again. If it does, you may never get this video. Nah, I'm just playing. Anyways, we should be good now, so hopefully. Anyways, so I was going to originally make this video, or this and other stuff that got revealed at D23 into one huge video, but then I kind of thought about it, and I didn't want to kind of put all that information and stuff in one video and kind of miss some things or whatever, so I was like, you know what, separate video. So, of course, this one is for the new Avengers Doomsday trailer. Second one will be the Vision Quest trailer. The next one will be for Ahsoka Season 2, and then the one after that will be for Star Wars Starfighter. When those will get up on the channel, I'm not so sure right now. Because I gotta see, well, first when this goes up, because when I did the Brand New Day trailer, Brand New Day video of the movie, it took literally 3 days for that to get up. So yeah, that was a hassle. So hopefully this one should go up by today. And then either what I have going on today may depend on when I try to upload it, but we'll see. It won't be like too stretched out. Anyways, so let's talk about the Avengers Doomsday trailer. Okay, so it opens up with Doom on his throne, Castle Doomsday, in what probably is Latveria. He's sitting on the throne, all ominous, leaned back or whatever. And there's what it seems to be like a rune symbol on the floor with some green energy flowing. So he probably has some like magical enchantment on the castle, because why would he not? And of course he's sitting on his throne with the green glass stained panels in the back, with the sun shining through. Well, we also have a monologue going on over the trailer coming from Sue Storm, and she's talking about how Doom was always the smartest guy in the room. He was so nice and caring or whatever, and until everything got taken away from him, right? And then she never realized that he was broken. Well, as she's talking, it's kind of going back and forth between Sue, or it goes to Sue, and then it goes as she's talking about Doom, and she's actually kind of crying, like there's a tear coming down her eye. So, of course, kind of leaning more into the evidence of them having history, and them being from the same, universe, Earth 828. Then it also switches over to Gambit, Magneto, who looks like he's like hurt or whatever from like a battle or whatever, probably with the Sentinels on their world. But it also shows Steve Rogers after we see him when he meets back up with Thor. Now, originally, I kind of thought it looked like they were all in the same place, but maybe Marvel was kind of doing some, trailer magic, cutting it up to make it look like they're kind of, in different places. But I've seen some people say that maybe they are in the same place and they're all at Steve's house, because, they got to go get Steve and warn him about, the coming of Doom and the incursions and all that, right? So there's that. But the big thing I really want to focus on is after she says, she talks about him losing everything, it cuts to him with his hand on a mural of what it looks like to be this woman and her child, and like them on top of the world, where it's like it has like cracked in half, like smoke spewing from it, and it cuts to Doom all close up to his eye with this nice beautiful green eye. It looks like he's about to cry, and he's kind of shaking a little bit. Well, I want to talk about that because I originally thought that it was supposed to represent him and his mom, because him and his mom have, or not really him and his mom, but he has a huge connection to his mom. It's one of the big reasons why he became Dr. Doom in the first place, and it ties heavily into his origin, and with his mom, Cynthia Von Doom. And basically, his mom was a sorcerer, witch, whatever you want to call her, and she made a deal with Mephisto, and as you know, make a deal with the devil, it's going to cost you. And basically, he took her soul, and so Doom tried to get it back. It doesn't work at first, so he goes on, study the mystic arts and science and whatever. Then he gets contracted by the U.S. They take him over. He goes to a university to study, which is how he meets Reed, and all of that. Of course, fashions his armor, and he tries to go get her from Mephisto, but it doesn't work. So Mephisto ends up making a deal with him that for every year, for one night or one day or whatever, that he can try to fight for his mom's soul, and it never works out. Now, I'm not too sure if he eventually does get her soul. I can't exactly remember, but that was kind of how it was, and it was a whole thing. So that's what I originally thought it was. But I'm seeing a lot of theories and ideas that this actually might be Doom's family. And I can see why people think that, because if we go a little bit further in the trailer, when Doom, after Reed is screaming about, like, Victor, like, did you do this? Victor, or Doom, is telling somebody, you all are living stolen lives, and it's time for you to get them back. As he's saying that, the trailer pans to Thor with his daughter, Love, and then it also pans to Steve holding his child, and I think maybe someone else. I can't exactly remember, but those are the biggest two that I saw. So that can kind of feed into the whole that, well, Doom had a family and maybe an incursion happened, and maybe it was caused by one of them, or he just believes that, they're not really supposed to have those kids, which would also feed into the whole thing about stolen lives. Because if you really think about it, Steve's not supposed to have that kid, right? He went back in time to put the Infinity Stones back where they're supposed to be, and he just decided, well, I'm back in time. Let me go live out, the life that me and Peggy wanted to have, but we couldn't. That was never supposed to happen. That was just something Steve just did. Then you go look at Thor. That really wasn't supposed to happen either, per se. Like, that Love really isn't even Thor's daughter. He's Gore's daughter. But on top of that, he's not really even Gore's daughter anyway, because remember, he went to Destiny to make a wish for his daughter back, and Destiny basically personified itself as, Love, right? Which is why she has, like, all those cosmic powers, or at least they alluded to it at the end of Love and Thunder. But yeah, they're not supposed to have that. And even then, if you go back further and you look at the Thor, the little mini trailers that they released before we got the bigger trailers, there was a Thor trailer where he was like, when he was praying to Odin for, power and protection to go fight Doom. He was like, what do you say, like something about, like, the universe or something, like gave me something that I never thought I would want or whatever, and it was a child, right? It cuts to him in Love, right? Something that probably wasn't supposed to happen. And Doom being Doom, being kind of petty in the way he is, he feels hurt that these dudes get to have the life that I was supposed to have, but it was taken away from me, right? So when you kind of look at that type of stuff and you kind of think about the trailer, you can kind of see where people are coming from. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, you know what? I can kind of see where they're coming from, right? And that can kind of feed into the whole motive of why he's kind of going around destroying some of these worlds. But I still kind of think he's still trying to, like, in a way, sort of help in his own Doctor Doom type of way, stop the incursions or whatever, right? But I thought that kind of stuck out to me on that part about him having a child and a wife, right? Next part of the trailer, it comes flying in through these clouds on this cityscape. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that this is the X-Men universe because there are Sentinels there, but I can't see nothing. I can't see any Sentinels, so I have no idea exactly where it is. Like, at least I don't think it's the X-Men's universe, because like I said, I don't see any Sentinels anywhere. My initial thought was that it could be the 828 universe, because right after that we see Reed and Doom talking, and the initial landscape, like the aerial image, is kind of, it's gray, smoky, destroyed. And when we see Reed and he's asking Doom, he's like, Victor, did you do this? Right? It's kind of like in the background, it's kind of gray and gloomy looking. And then and then he's like, Victor, like, did you do this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of thinking maybe that's their universe, right? Because he's like, like, I can't believe you destroyed our universe, right? So that's what kind of got me thinking maybe it's theirs. But some people are also saying that this could also be Tobey's universe, because if you don't know, a while ago, like before we even got some trailers, there were rumors of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man supposedly to be in Doomsday. But now that we've gotten to D23 and gotten trailers and stuff, there's even more news on it that the whole thing is going to be basically Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and possibly even Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, because they were actually at D23 trying to